Hello everyone, welcome back. Where last we left off, our vagabonds and adventurers here were investigating a mysterious corridor and chamber in the Crimalt, lined with infernal symbols and the symbol of Volg, the god of possession, revenge, and endings. Um, June was June was possessed momentarily before an altercation with the rest of the party. Quickly was hit in the back of the head and knocked unconscious, and from there we pick up.
I'm sorry, that big reaction was when you said God of Possession, I thought you just meant he liked having lots of things. And only now,
The Hoarder God.
only now has it clicked.
Jesus Christ!
That
Are you?
I'm
I've been
I'm not
warning the
joking.
group about their minds and how you guys need to be wary.
Yeah.
Nadria has been.
Wait, were you just really confused when Jin was just giving you all the stuff? Cause you're like,
No, I understood that you suspected that you would be possessed, but it only just clicked then that that's what God of Possession. Okay.
Yep.
Oh
This
my
is all.
gosh.
Thank you for your
Volg is a
time.
collector.
He's just got a stamp collection.
He's got a coin stamp collection.
It's me, Bear Grylls, and I love my coin stamps.
My coin stamps.
He just robs
I fucking
mints.
hate
Don't
it.
you dare fuse them together.
Oh my god.
Um. Okay, so June's out cold. I would
Yes.
like to pick him up and like carry him out. Not trying to trigger any more traps out of this corridor. And
Sure.
Yeah.
Easy enough to do. June is limp, not struggling too much. Also, I assume relatively light and pretty beefy, so pretty easy to pick up. But I get you to roll a strength check for me.
Strong as fuck.
I'd say I'm mediumly heavy. I'm not that small.
I may be a small creature, but I'm strong. I rolled a 2. I'm very emotional right now.
You're so angry that your hands are shaking, and as you go to try and pick June up, it just kind of slides out of your grip, and it's very hard to kind of pick June up
I would like to
fully.
Say, I would like to say the second as I go to pick him up again, I just get really angry and just go like, like drop him and then I walk out.
Sure.
I guess I'll just combat drag like June away.
Right. Put
Just
your
by like the arms. Yeah.
Okay, not by the legs, it's face like dragon.
No, like your legs would be being dragged. We're just like pulling you back.
That's
Sure.
nice of you, thank you.
I'll get you to roll a strength check as well.
That dragon just took half my movement. Okay. Give me a second.
It's just
Yeah.
for the purposes
Yeah,
of
'cause it's still like a person.
you're actually hefting the person up.
6.
I'll say, look, it's like you're dragging June, so I'll say it takes you a while with a strength of 6. So even though it is technically half your movement, I'm going to say it's little by little, it's probably less than half your movement is taken. Sorry, more than half your movement is taken by trying to drag June by yourself. As Krugar walked out and A9 is just chilling.
What happened to you?
I want to talk about it. When I go 15 feet away from the group, I'll grab my sharpening stone. I'm just gonna like sit on the ground and just
Sure.
and just wait till someone grabs me. That's all I do.
June did have that coming.
It was very hurtful and he shouldn't have said what he said. Like that was random, right? Like like what happened? He just sort of
Don't-
like said out of nowhere and he was acting all bizarre.
I think they may have been possessed.
The symbol.
The symbol. Although you had no way of knowing.
But he must have been thinking those thoughts if they just came to him so naturally. You know what I mean? Like even as a subconscious thought.
I suppose.
That's all I do.
Sure.
Let's go into silence.
You guys now have an unconscious June.
Can we take a short rest while we're waiting for him to wake up?
Sure, if you'd like to.
Because I imagine it'll take a while for an unconscious person to wake up.
Hey Con, could you try and move your mic a little closer? It's fucking up for some reason, sorry.
Odette.
Still a bit quiet.
Odette. How about that?
I don't know why it's been quiet today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's alright. It's like middle green.
Lucky I am a loud person. My loud voice will boom for you.
Not even that though.
Well, shoot.
Well, that should do it.
I think
bumped
it's
you a
just
little bit.
being bizarre tonight.
Bizarre. Okay, short rest. I'm taking a short
How bizarre.
Short rest.
Uh,
Excellent. So you guys take a short rest.
I get stuff back.
Me
Hell yeah.
too.
June?
Do I?
Well, you're technically unconscious for the duration, so I'm gonna say, yeah, probably. It's not a, yeah, like, it makes sense to me for it to be a short rest if you're unconscious. I'd say you probably get a little bit out of being unconscious.
Yeah, normally when you're unconscious, like you roll like a d4 and that's how many hours you're knocked out. That's how I play it in like an online game. But yeah.
I'm gonna say for the purposes of this, somebody
For-
will
for
just
brevity,
wake.
yeah.
We'll just wake
It's normally
June
a
up.
I mean,
It's
honestly,
normally a short rest.
I'm pretty sure
regardless.
Abelard's got smelling salts and stuff like that, and like the medic
Yeah.
stuff.
Or you could just slap June, you know, whatever.
Just
Whatever
again,
works.
just like.
You pour cold water on their face.
No. So you guys take your short rest.
Yeah.
June, you brought back to consciousness by Abelard's smelling salts.
Do they smell good or bad?
They smell terrible. They're fucking designed to wake up people on a battlefield. They smell so bad.
They smell kind of similar to the dumpster fire you guys had caused before, with like the burning flesh, the burning hair from the person's body, the smell of shit, and just piss everywhere.
Dad?
What?
Wait, how do you interpret that? Is that your dad's a natural BO, or did your father end that way?
I provide no elaboration.
Okay.
What?
I
No.
mean, I know. I'm asking.
I'm very. What?
Oh, hello.
Are you still possessed by the demon man?
No, you're not possessed.
No, I'm not possessed.
Cool.
But I did find out what the symbol did.
To be fair, that is exactly what a possessed person would say.
Like just start rubbing more smelling salts, and then Jean's nose. Is the possession gone yet?
It seems like it's June, you don't hear. You feel as if you're in control of all your faculties. You don't feel as if somebody is speaking to you anymore or suggesting things for you to do. It definitely seems like you're back in control, though you do remember everything that you said and your actions in the moment. You also remember what was told to you. So the phrases, it doesn't
Yeah.
go away. So like you should dispose of the spare, things like that. You remember that.
I take it that symbol possessed you in one way or another.
Yeah, it called you a spare, which wasn't particularly pleasant. And it told me to tell you a lot of things that weren't particularly pleasant. In a roundabout way, it did tell me to tell you a lot of things that weren't particularly pleasant. I would just like to go on the record to apologize for that right now. And we've all got our problems, and we're all working towards them, and I respect all of your boundaries and all of your individual troubles. I'm looking to help with them if you'll let me.
19 insight.
Yeah, easy to tell June is lying at least about that last bit.
About wanting to help.
No, what your role was in reference to being told to tell them that sort of stuff. It was
Oh, I wasn't lying. Like a roundabout way. I guess I was
you're
double
lying.
speaking.
I never said that.
Yeah.
Suggestion is very specific. So
An attack.
Attack could mean verbal attack.
no, I very specifically said you should fight. I never said
Right.
attack. So
And I love all of you individually. And as a collective. I can't promise I won't do it again, but I can promise it wasn't entirely me. Well, that's... If there were crickets here, they'd be chirping. Heidi ho, we've got a quest, fellow adventurers.
me and
So-
Audrey are like secondhand embarrassment.
I'm not that bad.
How's your head?
It hurts.
Checks out.
It'll bruise. I hit you pretty good.
Yeah, I imagine it'll bruise. But I appreciate being knocked out of the possession. So thank you. Thank you for hitting me.
You said some really hurtful things.
Oh yeah, I'm entirely sorry about that. You know, I'm sure I don't know any of the people in your life. Genuinely, I just took a shot in the dark at what possibly would get you angsty.
Well, it worked. You know nothing about my family life, and I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh, absolutely. I know nothing, and so it really, I really went from the bottom of the heart. Meant it was just an attack to get you angry. Wasn't.
Well, good job in that regard, I guess.
Well, onwards.
Sure.
We're a team. Let's go.
Let's clear out
This
this.
is gonna take a while.
Let's
to,
clear out all
like-
the evil monsters and get out, please.
Well,
This is like a weird, like,
Like an awkward ex situation, is that what you were about to say?
yeah, like something like that. It's like that kind of situation where you're like, I don't want to be here. I wanna,
It's just uncomfortable.
uncomfortable for you?
I am.
It's
there's
more. I feel
something-
like it's more awkward for like the people that are like the bystanders in the situation. You're just kind of there, like, okay.
Yeah, it's like Krug's really offended. Abelard, who's like quietly offended, is just like,
Me and Nadia are just like kind of like.
Yikes.
Malin's just playing with Kodor.
Oh, Malin does not know what's going on at all. She's like in the corner. She's still looking at that. Like she's still thinking about that goddamn flower from ages ago. It's a flower.
Yeah.
It was pretty.
That's facts though.
hey, A9, could I have my stuff back?
Wait, are you naked right now? No, you just lost your armor.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I suppose you didn't say anything hurtful to me.
Is that really gonna be the deciding factor?
Didn't you like want to know the hurtful thing?
Yeah, 'cause
Maybe
he's a
June just
massive-
had nothing hurtful to say because I'm such a. Here's your stuff.
This is like some weird, like, manipulation shit going on in the party right now.
I mean, I never expected this, but yeah. All right, what you guys want to do?
Well, there was a hallway to the left in that corridor that June went up, wasn't there?
Yes.
I've one more attempt.
Did you ever look down that corridor or no?
No.
Okay.
Would you like a hug?
Sure.
I'll give you a hug.
Would you like a hug from someone that's not June?
I also offer a hug.
I reach out for you as well.
Group hug, guys.
I join in that.
Krug's kind of only just at somebody's like waist height. Just
Everyone joins
I'm
in
just
the
hugging
hug.
everyone. I'm hugging your like
I
legs
pull
essentially.
Nadria in.
I will
hug.
cast Misty Step to leave.
I want to do a contested strength check.
I am casting this.
sure, both of you roll strength checks.
I mean, she's teleporting. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
think-
casting Misty Step. I'll go.
Oh,
I'll
you're
cast a spell.
casting.
Are you
Misty
actually
Step.
gonna use
I
a
will.
spell
I will
slot
use a spell slot
to get out of this
not be in a hug.
situation?
Yeah.
It has been
Well, th-
casted.
Well, then there's nothing I can do.
I mean,
Okay, so
Abelard,
go to make
Abelard is
suggestions.
awkwardly participating in the hug, but he's like not fully into it. He's kind of
just
distracted
like
still.
patting people's
Yeah,
heads.
he's still kind of thinking of like the whole thing of like, you said those things and he kind of meant them, just in the head kind of thing.
Yeah.
Abelard's not vocally saying it; he's just not fully into the hug.
I've teleported into the corner of the room to get away from
Just flipping them off. I appreciate. Thanks.
Chivas, do you agree with this? I yell across the room.
What in reference to what?
To Nadria leaving the hug.
Jivas just pauses for a second. I'm gonna say, yeah. Listen, I mean, it's always good to have friends, but I would not want to be participating after that shitstorm.
That's what I'm saying.
Technically, when they're hugging you, they're hugging me too.
Oh,
Isn't it creepy?
you know that's weird.
Come in,
Okay,
Shiva.
well,
Does that mean you guys are? Well, I can't. I'm not inside Nadria's head. But does that mean they're constantly hugging, Chivoth and Nadria? in their brain.
Double hug.
No,
tundra.
it's not. It's not
Permanent
like that.
brain
It's
hug.
technically like
It's a permanent brain hug, like a soul bond.
A soul bond.
that's so.
Oh my god, we're soul bonded.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I'm actually Dylan's gonna be like, so you're like soul bonded to G-Bard as we're leaving this room or whatever we're doing in the next scene.
I assume you guys are heading back down the corridor, or
Well, we know where the traps are now because June set them off before, so I think
It's like 3 kind of arrows on the floor. It just bounced off me. I'm just like.
you guys are heading down the corridor to do what?
well, first inspect it maybe to see if it's a dead end or not.
Sure. As you peek your head around the corner, you notice that it isn't a dead end. It does continue on, and then it turns to the right
Okay.
at the end. There's no other symbol of Vold.
Any obvious or any like hidden wires or like crossbows affixed to
Roll
a corner?
roll a perception check for me, please.
Percept shit. Yeah, percept shit. 9.
Okay. With a 9,
That's
you're
A9.
so A9.
Hey yo.
9.
With a 9, you notice that you're still so angry and so stressed out, even though you hugged it out and tried to let it go. It's still kind of eating away at your mind, and you're just kind of glancing furtively around the vicinity, up and down the corridor, and you don't notice anything in particular.
Seems clear.
There's like just a basically dead end corridor with a symbol.
So there's a corridor straight ahead that had the symbol of Vogue that June put their hand on,
And then
there's a
like
corridor to the left
Yeah.
of that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of in like it joins into another
and then
corridor.
that goes off to the right.
And then that goes off to the right, but there's no symbol of Volg at the end of this corridor. It's just a blank wall. that
So
goes
once I
down.
go right, it's just like nothing.
So you're going right, you're heading down.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I don't
Sure.
think. Yeah, there's nothing there.
So as you head to the right, there appears to be a large room that's lit in a kind of faint blue hue at the very end, if you guys would like to head towards that and enter.
In here, there's some weird blue glowing room.
Oh.
I'll walk into the room.
Sure. So as you head into the room, it's another hexagonal room. It's slightly smaller than the one that you just come from. There appear to be no passages or exits out of the room. It just appears to be closed off. The light from the room emanates from a series of intersecting lines along the floor, glowing with the same masan that you'd found throughout the rest of this section of the Crimalt. The lines themselves appear to be intricate and surrounding a large kind of island similar to the one before the pedestal. On this island itself, you can see there are another another series of lines that appear to be intersecting in an intricate pattern. These ones seem to be rounded rather than the sharp angular symbols that you'd seen before throughout the rest of your journey to the Crimalt to this point. Around the room, you notice that there are several panels that appear to be glowing with the faint red glow of the symbol of Volg, though each of the symbols appear to correspond to the symbols that you'd seen before. So they're kind of spaced out at different points, one at each. So in the hexagonal room, there's only one that's kind of left blank immediately across from you, and the rest of the walls, the one that you're in now to enter the room is blank. The one immediately across from you is a symbol of Volg. And then along the rest of the walls, you see the Andron life, death, and maleo symbols.
Okay.
Nobody touched them.
Yeah. No, we don't need any more
Is
body possessions.
is there any symmetry to any of these rooms we've been in?
So this room is relatively symmetrical.
No, I mean symmetry in the layout overall, not the rooms individually, but where they're positioned underground.
Well, we've only explored one.
Yeah, you've only been down one
Half.
branch. It
The-
doesn't seem especially like there's a lot of symmetry.
Or planned layout.
Oh, this definitely seems like a planned layout to get from one room to another. But it doesn't seem like each of the rooms seems unique and designed for a specific purpose, not the same purpose as one another.
So, you said this room is similar to the last room we were in.
Yep.
Has an island in the middle.
Yes, and they're both hexagonal chambers.
Is there a bridge to this said island, like the chamber before, or no?
So the masan on the floor is actually covered by what looks to be a thin sheet of glass or something similar. So it seems to be encased. It doesn't seem to be free like the other.
Which is different to the other one. The other one
Yes.
had
Because you could actually touch the
a
Masan in the previous
pedestal.
room.
Yeah, so the island that's in the center is not exactly surrounded by a moat of masan.
Okay.
Okay.
You could easily step over to it. There's no bridges or
So
anything.
it's clear that this room would be used not so much for sacrifices.
Yes,
as we
there's
implied the
no
other room would be.
altar table or anything similar in this room.
Okay.
It just appears to be an empty room with those intersecting lines on the floor and the symbols that are glowing faintly in red along the walls.
Can I do an Arcana check on the symbols to see if it's like a similar school of magic as the one at the end of the corridor? I've
Sure.
got Dune? Sure. Arcana. 19.
With the 19, do you get closer to the symbols on the wall?
Yeah, I get pretty close. Not touching, but just
Sure.
like.
They definitely feel magical, but they don't feel. So as you guys had passed the symbol before of Volg, though none of you had touched it except for June, it seemed to have almost a supernatural type of pull that kind of made your head a little bit fuzzy as you walk past. As you're going around, you don't get the same feeling in this chamber. They don't seem to affect your mind in the same way.
Don't touch anything.
I know, just not doesn't quite feel the same as the other one.
Doesn't mean it's not bad.
I know.
I like to walk into the middle of the room and inspect the lines and just see what that's all about.
Sure. As you approach the center island, you notice that the central. I'll have to get a picture up of it because I didn't draw it in time. My mistake, everyone.
It's all good.
That's so true.
Facts.
The dog is offended for us.
Dog was like, you should have drawn.
Why didn't you?
Why didn't you?
You can see that the symbol on the ground appears to be a series of loops and circles that connect, almost like infinity symbols. Here we go. This is a pretty good. This is decent. Essentially, I did not draw this, but I should have. My mistake, everyone. This is what it looks like.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
On the floor there.
That's cool.
On the floor. Okay.
The intersecting lines of that surround this island. Looking at them, you can make out similar shapes and angles to Volg, and it seems to span the exterior of this this central island here with that symbol in the middle.
More Vogue shit over here.
Are these loops the same one that Chivos pointed out on the tube?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Very
What?
much.
Okay,
Like similar to the symbols on the tube. Much.
Maybe we should put the Zushtar tube on the ground.
That sounds
Absolutely
like-
not.
that sounds like a really. So this would be like maybe like the transport room. Maybe this is where all like the monsters are coming from.
Did I forget to mention that I was told that this might be Volg's last resting place? Like the Cremol?
What do you mean resting?
I don't know, that's just what Chivos
Like-
said.
Wait,
I didn't really fully ask about it.
but doesn't Vogue like live in his own little like pocket dimension?
That's just what Chivos
And
said to me.
Volg's not dead. He's very much alive.
I mean, he's in the underworld, isn't he?
Oh, I mean that part is
Wait,
true.
resting. Maybe it's like
Can I consult with Chivos?
Sure. What would you like to say?
So, you know how you were talking about how the Cremol might be Volg's last resting place? Yeah?
I believe that's what I said.
Yeah, okay, good. See, I do listen. Yeah, what did you mean by resting?
Well, you know, when we get locked in a pocket dimension, technically our celestial matter can't exactly leave the plane that it was on if we hope to have a body to inhabit. So to my knowledge, Vogue should still be somewhere in the Crimalt, but the body is uninhabited in the mind, if that makes sense. Shouldn't be functioning though, so not like an animated.
So, like, the body
Corpse
would
or
be here,
anything.
but there'd be, like, no Volg on the body.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Kind of like when the lights are on and nobody's home.
Alright, yeah, that makes sense. Thanks. So his body might be here.
Can we burn his body?
so Vogue simultaneously
Like,
exists in hell
No,
or
it's
wherever
like-
he is.
it's like a mind thing. Like, the body is there, but there's, like, the lights are off and no one's home.
That's exactly right.
Huh.
So he's so.
Well, I mean, if the lights are off and no one's home, then wouldn't that imply that the house is like dead, as well as the no one being home?
Oh.
But Volg is, like, the celestial matter is still very much alive.
so his body is there, but his mind is not.
Yeah.
But when he wants, so if hypothetically, if his chains got broken, he would come
Back into that body, probably.
and it's buried under here in a criminal
Not confirmed.
in down,
Just a thought.
like in the Dawn Vale, like, but like in Owl, you're telling me there's the body of a god, an evil god buried under here somewhere?
Possibly.
That's very terrifying. This is what. Okay, who do we inform about this?
I don't know.
Ideally, no,
Talk
but
to Lauron.
yeah, ideally I would be closer to the moon, and you know,
Oh, do you like get weaker the further away you are from the moon?
not really. It's more of like I kind of go when the moon's out, but I don't know the moon's out because Lorenz is most powerful. Then, I mean, in theory, I could talk to him anywhere. It would just take time. It's not quite the same
He's
as.
not as cool as me.
I mean, yeah, you can kind of talk. I mean, as dodgy as
Your guy
Chivas
kind of
seems,
sucks.
Yeah. Oh, Lauron's cool.
I'm just gonna go with. I will remember that next time when I go to heal you with his magic.
Hey, what do you? No, I trust Lauron over Chivas.
I take it back. I'm gonna stop talking.
Wait a sec. Oh no, no. Yeah, sorry. I was just trying to remember.
Can I just, out of character, say just an idea of what the rooms are for? Because this one seems to have, it has a symbol that's on the Zushtar tube on the ground. Is it possible that there is another chamber like this where all three of the tubes or chains would go if Volg was going to then be summoned to this location?
Like you had to put a certain
Is it-
shard tube in like a certain
Yeah,
room.
like is it? Would it make sense if there was 3 places for 3 artifacts to then
Probably. That's
as keys?
That's an
But then,
assumption.
if that was the case, then why wouldn't have the person taken the Zushtar tube if they
He's
wanted?
kind of dead.
Huh? Oh yeah, he died, didn't
Yes,
he? I forgot
yeah,
about that.
That was probably a part of his
Yeah,
plan,
no,
though.
I kind of forgot that he hella died.
Yeah, Octavius.
Yeah, he's kind of goop right
he
now.
kind of
His
fully
head,
was
yeah,
decapitated
and then
and murdered. Yeah.
and then
yeah. His
Okay,
head just turned
Never
to goop.
mind. But my point still stands.
Could be.
How do we know that he didn't succeed? And turning into goop was just one of the side effects of his
And
success.
we were always meant to bring it here.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm now beginning to think that we should
The
head
issue of
upstairs,
weapons
figure out what the
tube.
fuck's happening with this thing, and
On expanding on that theory, like say hypothetically, like we're like the top left corner or whatever, like deep underground, and that's like where one key goes. There's probably another key that goes like 5,000 feet there, and another 5,000 feet there,
How
and like
big-
bam, 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 and then like the whole body just like explodes. from
Yeah,
the dawn
how
veil.
big is Volk?
How we to know? There's no way that we would
You
know
don't
that.
know.
you'd have to ask me.
from like
and
a
I'd have to
framework
ask.
You'd have to ask a
of
god.
of someone
Of
who's
how
seen a
big
god.
gods are, yeah.
Like how big is Luron?
Well, you've never actually seen them in their celestial forms, and all gods do differ in the forms that they take. Luron is generally about, like, when he appears to you, he shrinks his size to be similar to you, so it's not as intimidating. I would say to you, he's mostly appeared to be about 8 to 10 feet. So
Large.
that before he's shrunk himself. So he shrinks himself down mostly to be about your height. So you're what, 6'4", so
Yeah.
roughly about your height, maybe a bit taller. But it kind of depends on the god and the form that they want to take.
So maybe not 5,000 feet in the other direction.
5,000 was a bit dramatic. I was
yeah,
thinking, like,
no, that's
maybe
kind
like
of the idea.
300.
That's kind of the idea that I'm following
Yeah.
along with. Yeah.
Mm.
That being said, I think we should put it on the ground.
What if that's just? And what if the Zushtar is just the metaphorical key, and that's a keyhole?
Maybe we shouldn't just. Maybe we should not have the Zushtar anywhere.
I think we should give it to someone who knows more about this sort of stuff and run along.
Well,
That's what
they
we're
should
planning to
definitely
go.
not be someone that can't defend themselves. Because if we give it to someone who can't, they might die. So
That's why I
We'll-
was
we'll
suggesting
be-
we leave
That
it to
would
God.
be bad.
Well, we're not gonna go into run along and be like, "Hey, everybody, we got a Zushtar that can release a nameless few. Anybody want to help out?"
I reckon that'd be actually a great idea.
No, we go to see like.
Hey, that'd be the quickest way to get rid of it. If we just tell everyone that we have it, then either someone's gonna steal it or someone who actually does want it would come and get it from us.
Would Krugar know how? I think we've talked about it before, but how Runalong is run? Is it like a democracy society, or is it?
It's run by Lorm, actually.
Oh, I think I just lost my last working brain cell.
I think when we get to the table, we only have one collective brain cell.
It's gone now.
And
Holly.
it's really trying its hardest.
Okay.
You can roll a history check for
Thank
me. You briefly,
That's a 10. No, it's
So-
a 9.
briefly, you had been told that Runalorm had a mostly bartering or trade system.
Is there like a king or like a lord of Runalorm or
So,
lords?
I
Or is
don't
there a council? Well,
I
no,
don't
wouldn't-
think you were told specifically, but there is a council.
there is a council.
I don't exactly remember. I have to go back through the session notes that I took. But there is a council. It's split into several tiers.
Mhm.
So there are different. It's like a tiered underground city.
Mm.
So there's the top tier, which are essentially the upper crust in this case, and then you have the lower portions that are mostly function through trade and things like that. So currency is relatively useless to them.
Hmm.
So you get the sense that they were more of the, like, if you guys remember, we had the joke about communist dwarves.
That's
Mm.
right.
So they mostly function like on a trade or bartering system. So goods are much more important to them than currency,
So like,
but maybe not necessarily for the upper crust, if that makes sense.
so is it like the upper class, like at the upper crust, or are they like
Yeah.
at the okay, okay.
Would Dilbert being from the Dawn Vale or somewhere in the Dawn Vale, would Runelon be the closest major city?
It depends on where exactly you are in the Dawn Vale, because if you're closer to the
other
Prussian
side.
Empire, depending on where you are, Ranelagh could be the closest major city that's technically the Dawn Vale, since it's built
Into
inside
the
it.
mountains, yeah.
But there is also Sprockerot, which is another major city that is built into a canyon that is
okay.
nearby. So, depending on where you are, that's the case for the Prussian Empire. Then to the side of the Kingdom of Acheron, there's a lot of different cases of which, like, there's Lundosa, which is also a major city. It's relatively close by. There's quite a few that are. There's Gosa, which is at the top.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
there's a
guess I'll
few.
have to
So
choose where, or
yeah.
decide where.
it
my
kind of
thing
yeah
is.
depends on where you are
Yeah.
or like where
Well, because
your
it's kind
kobold
of yeah, it's kind of
tribe has been.
subjective.
Yeah.
It's not subjective. It's kind of like I didn't really think like it's exactly here on this mountain in the Dawn Vale,
Yes. Yeah.
but it is somewhere in there, and I don't know. But yes, anyways,
It is at least you would
one
know.
of the cities.
Yeah, you would know of Ranelagh.
Yeah.
Do the Grimoisian Legion have like a strong presence in Runelong? Well, not really. But I wouldn't really know that, would I?
Not with a 10, and I
Okay,
don't
that's
think you've ever been there.
No, I've never been there. No.
So most likely would not know
Okay.
specifically.
I mean,
But the
think
Grimoisian Legion, you can make with an educated guess, and your experience with the Grimoisian Legion, you can make an educated guess to say that they control a large portion of the Prussian Empire. So, in general, you can make the conclusion that they might have at least some
Someone.
influence in Runelong.
as much as I don't really like, as much as I don't like to admit it, we could probably take it the Zushtar to the Legion in Runelorm, or at least speak to some sort of high level of authority. Maybe like go to the council and maybe they can give us like an idea of what to do with this thing.
Yeah, I mean, we showed it to the
Zola.
Yeah.
Well, isn't Zola gonna be in? Isn't that the whole
What
point? Zola was gonna be there soon.
What did Zola say about the Zushtar Tube?
I don't think she really knew that much, but that's why she went to go and investigate and learn more about them. But I
That's
feel like
true.
we've kind of learned a lot more
More
than probably she would know at the moment. So I guess we're one up on the Sulseer, so that's kind of cool. But
I think we should wait a bit.
either
I will see what Duran knows when we get the chance.
okay.
I feel like there's still a little bit left that we could gain from this place.
I feel like we should cave this place in and make sure no one ever comes back here.
I think. Oh wait, I mean they did. It was an illusion, but
Oh, I mean, like,
Speaking of
properly.
Zola, should be in Rumbellium, not Runelong.
I thought he said we should go to Runelong for some business. So.
Going to Rumbellium.
We're going to Rebellion. Okay, that's the opposite way.
Just get a better memory, I guess.
Well,
I knew she was from Rebellion. I didn't thought she was going to
she's
Runelong.
going to
Brutal.
Rumbellium, but she suggested that you guys go to Runelong.
Yes.
So she's
Okay.
going Rumbellium,
Okay.
Runelong.
I was halfway there.
Kind of.
It was a long time ago.
And I still remember. So.
My memory's shocking. I tried very hard. I only tried for the end.
Okay, well, I think we've come to kind of a natural lull in what we want to do. So I think this would be a perfect time to end tonight's session and pick up next time where we decide exactly what we want to do here, what the party wants to do about this random hexagonal chamber, this series of chambers with Volg on them. Whether you guys want to go back to the top or whether you want to stay and explore the Crimont a little bit longer. Did you guys have fun?
Yes.
Hell yeah, that's what
Oh
we
my
like to hear.
God. Yeah, there was so much happening in this session. It was crazy.
Yeah, I did not expect the direction that this
No,
took.
neither. Hell
Um,
no.
There was possession, mental trauma,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bear Grylls.
there was actual.
Bear Grylls.
Yeah, there was actual infighting in the party. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And learned a lot about Volg and how we might be, you know, not doing. Yeah, Volg's there. That's not good.
Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. We hope you guys did at home as well if you're watching. Thank you, as always, for spending your time and watching us do some D&D stuff. We very much appreciate it, and it's always a pleasure and never a chore to DM for you all. Much love, and we will see you guys next week. Bye for now.